It's no secret that the E46 M3 is a spectacular car. It features a timeless design, it handles like a dream, and produces enough power even today for any driving scenario. It's why I was super excited to have the opportunity to buy one at a very good price. The first thing I did was focus on maintenance since the car was neglected for over a year. Manual conversion, gaskets, reservoir tank, bushings, and other small things were addressed. And then I decided to move on to fun stuff and added fully forged wheels and coilovers. And then I stopped making content on the car and stopped driving it altogether once I found out about the one major issue these cars have. I told myself that until I address this issue that can destroy my car's engine, I wouldn't drive it as much. Well, today, I'm finally taking care of it. I'm taking care of the rod bearings.
You know, we're looking at the car before we start actually disassembling the oil pan area so we can get to the rod bearings. And we always typically find something new that's bad on the car that needs to be replaced. And I think Ali found something that I do not like.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just this ball joint is empty. There's no fluid in, no grease. Because there's a
hole. That's interesting because last time we did the camber arms, I don't even think that was like that. Maybe once we lowered the car, it kind of put pressure there.
It wasn't
just
there,
ruptured it.
If you look at it, see how it's like cracking?
Yeah, I see it.
So that's probably why it just punctured after being on the car for so long.
And then what is the obviously if we're gonna replace the other side, we're probably gonna replace this side too.
So we might as well just replace both of them.
Everything else looks good?
I guess we'll do the wheel bearings as a
preventative maintenance.
Preventative maintenance.
That's the word, right? Maintenance first, baby. So today, finally, we're going to be doing the most important work on the E46 M3, and it's well overdue, and it's why I haven't been driving this car a lot, and that is the rod bearings. Just earlier this year, I bought this car, believe it or not, for only $3,000. It was in very, very good shape. I had a bad SMG. The guys here at PSI Orlando went ahead and did the manual conversion, and I was able to drive the car, push the car a little bit, but then I decided to take it easy because I wanted to make sure that the car was healthy before, I make something go bad, especially, something very crucial like the rod bearings, which is pretty much a ticking time bomb, and it could destroy your car's engine without even warning you. And best believe after this huge maintenance is done on the car, I'm going to be taking this car to the track. It already has the perfect setup, fully forged Titan 7 wheels, AST coilovers. It's just asking to be taken to the track. I've never been to the track before, so this will be the first time. I can't wait to use this car more. Lots of content on this car going forward. It's always a great day when you can look under a BMW and you don't see any oil leaks because the oil pan gasket was taken care of, which oddly enough is going to be replaced again today because of the rod bearings.
Now you have this, which is from the Vanos gasket.
Yeah, so never mind, I take back what I said. We do have some leaks from the Vanos gasket, but the valve cover gasket was taken care of, and the oil pan gasket, now we have another leak right here. And I'm sure once we fix this one, we'll have another leak as well, so stay tuned for that. I don't know if you guys watched the previous video, but we actually removed the straight pipe section and grabbed another similar, actually the same exact resonator from another E46 M3 exhaust. So we got a dual resonator set up, and it pretty much removed like 80% of the rasp. This is a good alternative if you don't want to buy a rasp pipe for like $500–600. I was able to find this section on Facebook Marketplace for like $150. You just got to unbolt, and then you cut like this little merger thing right here, and you're good to go. If you guys want to watch that video and hear what it sounds like, I'll link that video down in the description below. So this is what we're getting done today. We have the B, rod bearings, oil pan gasket, ARP 2000 rod bolts, and some fastener assembly lubricant. Ultra torque. This right here, these are the time ticking bombs on the S54 engine. Super, super important. Very, very important. Super, super important. Super. Imagine that, guys. This right here can be the reason that your engine just goes kaboom.
The S54 has a well-documented history of consuming rod bearings at a rate faster than most engines. This was more of a concern during the earlier models, which led to BMW doing a recall on this issue. Many said it was just a band-aid fix, but essentially the issue is the tight clearances between the crankshaft journals and the bearings. They're tighter than usual, especially at higher RPMs. Tight clearances pretty much means less room for oil to flow through to provide a layer of lubrication and cushioning to prevent metal-on-metal friction. Cold engine revs and frequent oil changes can all speed up the process of the rod bearings wearing, which then leads to a potential spun bearing, which could mean you'll need a complete rebuilt motor or a new one entirely.
Oh look, what a surprise. These are bad. And
this
gummy. Oh, this is this is completely out of place. It's not even sealed properly, and you can already see the exposed grease in there.
There is no grease.
The grease is gone. Yeah. You see what happens once you lower your vehicle? All these suspension components like take a beating. Oh, the car's old, guys. If you haven't watched any of the M3 videos in the past, this car has 176,000 miles. You know, we've been taking some things off and replacing it, like a lot of the bushings back there, subframe bushings. We also changed the bushings here, lollipop bushings right here. And these are one of the things we didn't get to change, but as we continue to work on the car, we'll continue to replace everything that we see wrong. So I guess these are going to be next as well. Oh, great job. Did we forget there's oil in there?
No, I drained the oil.
So want to see something interesting, guys? Oil pan gasket that Ali just removed from the oil pan.
And the oil pan gasket.
The oil pan gasket that Ali's removing from the oil pan. Well, not the oil pan, but where the oil pan goes into. That's very strange.
And it's fresh.
Yeah, and the one down here is also fresh and brand new. So we have no idea how this happened. Last time we changed the gasket in the video, what video was it? When we were doing the manual conversion, I remember you just putting one on there.
Yeah, and I scraped off the...
You scraped the one that was there.
Because there was residue left.
Yeah, so what happened was...
I think the
packaging came with two infused. So two of them were infused, and Ali went ahead and installed a double. I guess that's what it was.
It was a buy one, get one.
Oh, yeah, I guess one gasket fails, you still got a backup.
Dude, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't leak, though. See? There's silicone here, here, and here.
What does that mean?
Like, I put the silicone on there, so there was no gasket. And I didn't just go in the back and then get another gasket on here and then put it on, because there's no silicone on here.
No, you wouldn't do that.
Alright, so judging from the colors, it looks pretty okay. Like the discoloration, because usually when you get oil starvation, you start getting discoloration on these, where the rod bearings meet the crankshaft, because that's where the oil is like burning, because it's not enough oil inside the where the bearings are.
Yeah.
But it usually turns like really purplish, red, orange type thing.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it.
But this seems like it's okay.
Well, I mean, there was always a chance that these were addressed in the past.
Yeah, and it's not like there's a lot of discoloration going on, so that's a good sign.
So maybe I wasn't really in the danger zone just yet.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. There is a possibility that before I bought the car, the rod bearings were already addressed, but it's not really a chance I was willing to take, right? Because I already got a good deal on this car. The last thing I want is for the S54 engine to just go kaboom, and I'm out of engine, and then I have to go get another one, and then of course time consuming and stuff like that. So it's just better to take care of it. And now I know when I took care of it, I know I maintained it properly, did the oil change regularly, and you know, we inspected every 60 to 80,000 miles, whatever it is. So it's just better to do it this way. If you bought a used E46 M3, then it's just a good idea to just take care of it right away, so you have that peace of mind.
So why did the rod bolts get replaced?
Because they stretch, and you're not supposed to stretch them again. And ARP bolts are a better quality bolt.
I kind of brought up an idea a month ago. I was telling Ali that just kind of teach me how to do it. I try to do this at home. Said it's not a good idea.
This is not a DIY, because DIY can turn into a new motor.
You know, I've actually heard stories of shops, independent shops that have messed this up, and the motor went bad as well. Because there's no like in between. You either get it right or you get it wrong. So if you guys need rod bearings done, which if you own this platform, you kind of need to eventually, or at the moment, PSI Orlando, they specialize in performance and maintenance as well. Come check them out.
So let's say for whatever reason you didn't want to take your E46 to a shop because you didn't want to pay the labor for them to inspect the rod bearings. You can technically get an oil sample from within the car and send it over to a company like Blackstone. They can do an oil analysis, and from there they'll be able to tell you if it's a concern or not. So that's another option, or you can just take it to the shop, get it checked that way, and just get it done.
Yeah, I'm guessing those are the bolts you would hate to strip. What do you think? 175,000 miles. Do they look like or what? This guy, he builds E46 race cars, so he knows a lot about this platform.
I don't think they'll be too bad, really. And the reason I say that is probably because they've been done.
That's what I figured too. Ali said the same thing.
Because the bolts don't smell. Usually whenever the bolts haven't been off,
They smell?
Yeah. They smell like burnt oil.
Who the hell was supposed to know that?
It is indeed worn.
Yeah, but those have definitely been done.
Yeah, these aren't bad. These are good.
We got the handy paper right here so we can show you guys a comparison. Yeah, they're pretty worn, especially on the sides right here. That's the same one for, but upper?
Yep. Probably wouldn't have lasted too much longer.
You know the ones that I see online that are always bad? They always have like this copper look.
Well, you can see the copper right there.
So once you get to the copper section, that's when they're really bad.
Yep. You want to get it before it gets to that.
Oh, when you do this, you can't mix up the rod caps because they are. See how it's like broken in different shape?
Yeah.
It's because the rod is made like there's one piece and then they like crack it in half, and then when you put this back on, it goes in like a same shape. So if you mix this up,
So like they're proprietary for each section, I guess.
yeah. So if you mix them up, then the mating surface won't be like flush. So the bearing is gonna just go everywhere.
And then the engine's toast.
Yeah. Because the bearing is not sitting in place. That's where you get the when you throw a rod, pretty much.
Okay.
Because it's like just spins around
Correct.
instead of being in one place.
So if anybody has the balls to do this themselves, very, very technical. You can't mess anything up, which is why there's a little piece of paper here to keep everything just kind of organized.
Oh yeah. So another thing. When you do these, you have to do 2 cylinders at a time. Because if you take off all 8, then you have a chance of either scoring this because you're turning the crankshaft, but the rods are staying in place.
Okay.
They're not going anywhere. So you have a chance of scoring either this or something getting like jammed.
Okay.
So you have to do two of them at once. And obviously like 3 and 4 correspond to each other, and then you have 2 and 4, and then 1 and 6 correspond to each other. So you turn the crankshaft every time.
And those are going to rotate those.
Those are going to rotate and come to the same place. So I tried to put them right up top where they're facing you, so you can push the rod back, and then you can get the top ones off, and then put the new bearing in and secure it, and then rotate the crankshaft, and then get the rest of them.
They all look pretty much like they're like, I don't know, they're worn the same.
Yeah, because you're going to see a pattern. Like the top wears in the middle, and it wears more than the bottoms, because the bottoms don't get the same amount of abuse that the tops get, because the tops have to push the cylinder upward, the piston upwards and downwards when the compression stroke is going downwards.
It's crazy because what he's doing, just kind of, what I can picture in my head is like a nuke specialist just defusing a bomb. Like you have to be like that precise with this job, or you can lose your S54. Yep. That's why you got to get a professional to do this.
Standard.
So the cool thing about these bearings is that you have the number configuration and everything, so you know exactly where they belong. So there's a little bit of a difference between these and these right here. These are upgraded ones, so they're stronger.
Yep. So these here are heat treated. These here aren't.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the coating. These have a more robust coating than the standard coating that comes on a bearing.
So they resist, I guess, wear. Or
Yeah, they last longer than the coating on here.
Gotcha.
So this right here, this coating is kind of not really burnt in, but it's heated up to
it's
the
like
point
etched
where
on there.
yeah, it penetrates the metal more than the standard coating.
Yeah.
Assembly lube.
This is what you use for Legos. When you're putting them together, make sure you put this in between. You know, when Legos get stuck and you like
Yeah.
with your teeth, this prevents it from that.
Oh, okay. He's just installing some anti-squeak paste, you know?
Yeah, so your rod bearings don't squeak. See how these cracks are?
Yeah.
See how they're like perfectly mating?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant when I was saying like they have to match. Because let's say if you put this cap on this one and you tighten it, obviously you're like damaging the surface, the mating surface, which is what makes it like a tight and like a good fit. That's why they like, you don't see like any gaps or nothing like that. It's just like a hairline cracked.
So every single section is different.
Yeah, it's not all like the same surface on all of them, and you can't like swap them around.
I don't know if you guys saw it in the last video, but one of the bolts was stripped, and it's actually this one right here. They were able to loosen this one up, but not the top one. It's on the right hand side. One of the previous episodes, I was saying that it looked like somebody's been here before because of that strip bolt. Well, it's worse now. I mean, it wouldn't be a good video if there wasn't a plot twist. I feel like every time these guys are working on my car, or even when I work on my car, there's always something, you know, some kind of a speed bump, some kind of a hiccup. That makes the whole process a lot more challenging. Oh yes, you got it out though. They figured it out. Honestly, I didn't have much faith. I thought they were gonna have to drill it out, but they made it work. We're good, guys. You see, this is why you gotta get somebody that knows what they're doing to do it the right way, because whoever did the rod bearings before stripped the boat and just said, F it.
So the rod bearings on my E46 M3 weren't too terrible. Well, they kind of were, but definitely nowhere as bad as the ones I've seen online. If you buy an E46 M3, do yourself a favor and don't take the chance. Just get them done. That way you know exactly what the history are on them. Once you do that, make sure to just maintain them properly. Warm up the car before flooring it, use quality oil, and change it regularly. It's really not that hard.
But you want to make sure that the oil circulates everywhere within the engine and gets to those hard to reach areas in the rod bearings, so they're lubricated properly. So
Lubricated? Is that what you use? You use lube?
Lube.
Okay.
Lubricated. Got it. When you say it slow, it sounds really bad.
Lubricated?
Lubricated. That's what I said. God damn it. Why are you always making fun of my accent? So anyways, you want to make sure the oil gets everywhere that it needs to go so the engine can run really well. The clearance is the biggest issues with the rod bearings. Got to make sure oil makes it in there. You're good to go. I know it's a pain to upkeep the S54, but that's just what it is. It's a fantastic engine, but it does have that downfall.
Yeah, there's been worse. I don't think these are the worst we've seen, but they're definitely not the best we've seen.
Yeah,
So I mean, I think it was a smart move.
All right, all the rod bearings are successfully installed onto the car. Now the true test is to pretty much put everything back into place, and then we start the car. That's when you find out if you did a good job or not. Well, not me, but them. All right, first time starting the engine after installing the rod bearings. Let's see. So far, so good. I think we're good. Don't play with me. I hear that ticking. Yeah, so everything's pretty much done. I think he's just cleaning up a little bit real quick, and then we'll go for a test drive. Now I'm gonna push the out of this car. Get happy.
And blow it up.
Don't say that. It might just be a mental thing, but man, is the E46 M3 running it very smooth.
Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more in the future, I got tons of E46 M3 videos coming up. Make sure to subscribe, that way you don't miss out. And as always, thanks for watching. Till next time.